What's up and welcome. This is me, you, and Switch 2. I am me, Tom Tate, and you are you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This is the latest and greatest Nintendo Switch 2 news brought to you every Tuesday and Friday in 5 to 10 minute short and sweet snackable episodes. Today's Tuesday, November 11th, and this is episode 47. I can't believe we're almost at episode 50. I hope that you had a great weekend. Nothing too exciting here. I started watching this new Apple TV show, though. It's called Pluribus. It's kind of the hot new thing, I think. I'm only a few episodes in, but I'm loving it so far. It is from the creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan. He worked on some X-Files, and this kind of has a sci-fi feel to it as well. The whole thing is very bizarre, but there's some solid world building. It is right up my alley. If that sounds like it's up your alley as well, too, definitely check that out if you have Apple TV. This is not an ad. I just really enjoyed it. And then on Saturday morning, the kids and I played some Kirby Air Riders. That's the Switch 2 lead-in for the episode. We hopped on the global test ride for the final 45 minutes, so we had less than an hour to play. We played through the 3 air ride tracks. We each took a turn to play through each track once. And I did one city trial. So one of the city trial stages was like a boss battle. There was a giant Krako, which is the cloud monster in many of the Kirby games. He's the thing that kind of shoots out lightning bolts. I had no idea what was going on. It was just a lot of chaos, but the game was super polished. The graphics were polished. The gameplay was definitely polished. This feels like those games that you can tell it'll be easy to pick up and play if you just want to pick up and play, or if you have a kid who wants to just pick up and play it. But I can tell that it'll take some time and skill to truly master it if you want to go deep in the mechanics. Very similar to Smash, which of course makes sense, right? Considering that this is a Sakurai game. So if you haven't played this, there will be another event happening next weekend. That'll be on the 15th and 16th. If you didn't get a chance to play, I will leave a link in the show notes if you want to check out the exact times, because there's only these windows of time that you can actually play where they open up the test event. We've got a few headlines to hit today. Nintendo launches a Switch 2 backwards compatibility search page. This is kind of like a database. It's a website, and the website is just titled Nintendo Switch 2 Compatibility Information. It'll let you discover which Switch 1 games are or are not compatible with Switch 2. Now, I feel like this was a bigger issue in the early days of the console, and lately, all of the main games that you would throw at Switch 2 are going to work. So these aren't games with Switch 2 editions. These are just Switch 1 games that can or cannot play on Switch 2. I searched for about 20 to 25 games that I either own or know of, and they were all compatible, right? I couldn't find one game that wasn't compatible. I think this is great. I think there's value in a single source of truth to make sure that whatever you own or might consider purchasing on Switch 1 will be good to go. So this is switch-software-compatibility.nintendo.com. I'll leave a link in the show notes if you want to check this resource out. Nintendo revealed their 2025 Black Friday deals over the weekend as well, too. I think they are a bit underwhelming. Mostly a lot of, discounted Switch 1 games, and the discounts aren't that deep. I saw Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, I think, for $30. That's not terrible, but nothing too impressive here, especially for Switch 2 owners. There are no discounted games, but they will be marking down Samsung micro SD Express cards by about $20. That was the number that they threw out. So again, this is the proprietary SD card that you have to use in Switch 2 if you want to expand your storage. So if you haven't done that yet, Black Friday might be a good time to consider it. I don't know what the actual prices will shake out to be after that $20 discount. There's an indie game called Stormlancers that will release on December 9th, 2025. This is kind of like a side-scrolling throwback beat-em-up style game. The trailer touted anime action and couch co-op. And this Switch 2 edition will have HDR support. The game will run at 60 frames per second, and it will support GameShare for cooperative play. Now, GameShare lets you share the game locally to another Switch or Switch 2, even if that other console doesn't have the game. So it's a great way to play kind of couch co-op where you're looking at two separate screens. Pretty cool. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 Nintendo Switch 2 edition has a release date that will come out on November 21st. This will bring enhanced graphics, larger scale battles with more on-screen enemies, and an expanded playable roster. This is a free upgrade if you already have the Switch 1 edition. This game is a 2020 game. It is a Musou game from Bandai Namco. It's a warrior-style game, much like Hyrule Warriors. So it is one of those, Musou-style games, and definitely worth checking out if you are a One Piece fan. We've got a lot of games releasing over the next few days. We have Goodnight Universe, Switch 2 edition, releasing today, November 11th. This is a game where you play as a baby with some very interesting powers. This is a $20 title. You have Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza Kiwami 2. You can buy them individually or as a bundle, releasing in 2 days on November 13th. Also on November 13th, we have the Atelier Ryza trilogy of games, 1, 2, and 3. And those games are available as a bundle or individually as well. Inazuma 11 Victory Road, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, November 13th, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on November 14th. Now, I did read through a couple of reviews for Goodnight Universe, but the reviews that I read were for PS5 and PC, so I'm going to keep an eye out for Switch reviews. The PC version uses the web camera to do eye tracking and motion tracking, and one of the reviews described this really cool use case where you have to close your eyes and turn your head to tune into a frequency to read people's minds. And once you lock in, you can kind of listen through some plot points that get revealed through the game. It sounded like a very interesting mechanic, so I'm interested to see how this runs on Switch. Maybe if you don't have the camera, because I don't have one, right? So is this worth picking up if you're just going to play with the normal controls? Not sure. And then finally, tomorrow, November 12th, we are getting a Nintendo Direct for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. The Yoshi design was spoiled over the weekend by some packaging. I forget what it was. I think it was on a box of cookies or something. Anyway, this news is certainly Switch 2 adjacent, so be on the lookout maybe for a new trailer or some plot details or introducing some new characters for the next Mario movie. We've kept this episode below 10 minutes. I love that. I've been trying to do that. I'll be back on Friday to keep the news coming. The download numbers go up every single week, so I'm assuming this format is working for you if you just want to stay in the loop of what's new on Switch 2. That's the plan. I want to thank you as always for your time and your attention. A kind rating or review helps me continue to grow the show. Sharing with a friend, a family member, Discord server, subreddit, or anywhere gamers hang out goes even further. Switch2pod.com for all the things. I'm at Switch2pod on Blue Sky if you need to reach out. I hope that you have a great week. Enjoy it. Much love. Now go play some games.